I thought the night's moment was Karen Owens praying or talking up to her husband.
How could you be unmoved?
She's talking to her husband, her lost husband, and I just think I've nothing more to say than the power of that moment. There she is, a regular woman who's lost her spouse. And I thought the powerful political moment, and I was watching it all, and I watched when the Democrats did get up to, and even Tim Ryan, the VP nominee of the Democratic Party. I think this line of economic nationalism works. I think left, right, and center, I think people have a sense of righteous indignation, right or wrong, that we have been screwed worldwide. We must restart the engine of the American economy, make it easier for companies to do business in the United States and much harder for companies to leave. I thought that was a winner politically. I think that's probably the reason he was elected in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. It is his winning ticket, economic nationalism. I don't think the other stuff, I mean, I think the immigration thing, he pulled back. He didn't do what we were promised at the luncheon at the
only change on immigration is that he didn't say Mexico was going to pay for the wall this time.
No, but
that was the only thing he dropped on immigration.
But he didn't do what we were told he was going to do, was offer a chance to live here legally for people who are not criminals.
Very different from other states of the Union, my job is not to represent the world. My job is to represent the United States of America. That part of the speech in which he basically said, let me rephrase, what he did not do in that part of the speech was present American ideals, American idealism, American aspirations as a model for the world. He didn't...
Or American leadership.
Exactly, the way that former presidents have. And if you could contrast that, for example, with George W. Bush's State of the Union speeches, that's something he really believed in. This was very different. This was more of a nationalistic speech.
Question is this tone change tonight only? What happens on Thursday when he does when he leaves Washington and does a rally of sorts? Is he back to the old version and suddenly all of that tonality, new tone, and goodwill is gone? So was it a change in tone just for tonight? Or is this a sort of reset, at least as far as Washington is concerned? Look, on substance, again, this is still the Steve Bannon agenda with perhaps the Reince Priebus tone. Right? It's sort of, saying, hey, you got to soften this edge, you got to round it over here. You can still push the same stuff.
There was a transcendent moment tonight, and we run away from it because it involves real grief. And it was the prolonged, sustained applause for Mrs. Owens. And I think that also showed something Chris mentioned earlier, the president as commander-in-chief and being willing to do the very hardest job that a commander-in-chief does, which is to recognize and talk with the families of the fallen. And I think tomorrow, all around the country, they may be talking about the disaster that is Obamacare, the regulatory rollback. He did call on Neil Gorsuch to be confirmed swiftly. But they'll be talking about Mrs. Owens. They may be talking about Megan Crowley. They may be talking about Denisha. But I think that sustained applause, it was a very patriotic speech. And in the blue states that went for Donald Trump, and the reluctant Trump voter that's out there wondering, can he do the job that I put him in there after this barrage of the first month? I think they're tremendously reassured by what I thought was a tremendous speech with a transcendent moment.